Hello, people. Welcome to the #1 show in
The world.
podcast universe. It's the Rock Show.
The Rockshow.
Episode 53, and today
53. This is Run DMC.
Run DMC.
And
They had quite the history.
yes, it's going to be the last real show of Black History Month.
Is this the last show of Black History? Who we have? We have the tweet show with
Two
Bob
on Bob
Marley.
Marley, we have Prince, and now we got Run
And Run
DMC.
DMC.
Good.
So Run DMC is an American hip hop group from Hollis, Queens, New York.
Hollis, Queens, see?
Yeah, you're a Queens guy. What you
Yep.
got to say about
you know.
Run DMC?
I mean, they were originators in all that whole thing.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting stuff that I didn't know. And
yeah.
I'll point that out. They, I definitely got to hand it to them with a lot of things. They really were the first of the firsts, really, of so many, with that genre. Jason Mizell, okay, who was known as Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
Daryl McDaniels, who was DMC.
Yeah.
And Joseph Simmons, the younger brother of Russell Simmons.
Yep.
Joseph was Run.
You know
Okay.
what DMC standard for, right?
DeLorean Motor Company. Also stood for
Devastating Mic Controller.
Devastating Mic Controller. And
Yeah.
I think it's in... What song is it? Is it in King of Rock?
I'm the king.
Right? I think in there he says, like, it stands for, like, dirty, mostly clean.
Dirty Mostly
Something
Clean,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, something like that. I think it's that song. But in the late 70s, Joseph Simmons was turned on to hip-hop by his older brother, Russell, who was now becoming like a hip-hop promoter at that point.
He was actually the manager of Curtis Blow.
Yeah, Curtis Blow. Yep. He was managing him, and I think involved with trying to get his own label together and all
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And Joseph basically was doing some early DJing. He DJ'd for Curtis Blow a couple of times, and he went by the name DJ Run.
Yep.
Okay. Now he had a friend, Daryl McDaniels, who was really like he wasn't into music. He was a sports jock type.
Yeah, he was an athlete.
Yeah,
know?
and but he was starting to get into DJing a little bit. A lot of people were doing that in those days. And
Yeah.
Joseph said, "Listen, let's go down to do some rapping and get into that." And they started rapping, but he began writing lyrics because he was afraid to. This is McDaniels. He was afraid to perform in public.
Yeah.
So he would
Yeah,
write
stage
everything
fright.
down.
Yeah.
And his name was Easy D. That's the
Yep.
name he used first.
Yep.
Now there's in Hollis, Queens, there's a park called 2/5 Park.
Yeah,
All right.
they did a lot of stuff there.
That's where they had a lot of the early rap and hip hop guys. And we say hip hop now like it was always a word. It wasn't.
No.
In the 80s, you didn't hear that word until maybe the very end of the 80s.
We know how they were categorized under R&B. They would put
R&B,
R&B.
and then rap became a name. But hip hop, that kind of they throw it back now towards these guys, but they never called themselves hip hop. That word
No, they
didn't
never
exist
called
yet.
it some hip hop.
Yeah. Now in this,
Even when they did the first MTV show, Your MTV Raps, they didn't even call it hip hop. It was
no,
called
the
Your
word
MTV
wasn't
Rap.
in use. Yeah.
You know what hip hop started being used when VH1 came? They had like the hip hop honors and stuff like that. That's when it really started changing.
Well,
it was
that's
more in the 90s where hip hop
Early 90s, late 80s,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
Now, in this 2/5 Park, what they used to do is they would have everything from breakdancing
Yeah.
to DJing, and then the DJs would compete with each other with all the scratching and
Yeah.
all that shit that they did. Now, that's where they met Jason Mizell.
Yeah.
Okay, now he was going by the name of Jazzy Jace.
Yep.
Okay, and he was known for his breakdancing skills.
Yep.
And his clothes. He was like in the forefront, like that look that Run DMC had
With the gold chain,
with the gold
the black
chains
shirt,
and the Adidas with no laces. That was all him.
Yeah.
He designed that. Now these three guys would become good friends.
Yeah.
All right, but what they used to do is like Joseph and Daryl would rap, rap in front of Jay while he breakdanced.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like a whole big, show going
Yeah.
on. In that park, they used to do that. Now, Russell Simmons was having a lot of success managing Curtis Blow at that point.
Yeah.
And he got a chance for his brother Joe to get, who's being known at that point as Run.
Yeah.
Okay, they got him a chance to record a single. Now the single was called Street Kid.
Yeah.
It really didn't go anywhere. It kind of bombed.
It was a bag of shit.
It was a bag of shit.
It was a bag of shit.
Bag of shit. But you know, it didn't destroy his confidence.
No.
He was motivated to continue, and he wanted to rap again, but this time with Daryl. Okay.
Yeah.
And Russell at first, who was basically in charge of these recording sessions, didn't like the way
DMC
who would be known as DMC,
Yeah.
Daryl rap. He didn't like his style. But in 1982, they had already graduated high school and
they were going to college.
They were going to college. Run and Daryl were eager to record again as a duo, but they would add their friend Jason Mizell. Okay,
really
now he
made
was going by the name of Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
And I think it was, like I said, his style
Yeah.
and everything, like you say, with the chains and
Yeah.
the sneakers and everything. That was when Russell realized, okay, we kind of got something.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Russell would insist that Daryl change his name to DMC.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had Run was Joseph. You had Jam Master Jay was Jay, right? He was
Yeah.
Jam Master Jay. And then Daryl became DMC. And it stood for Russell's favorite car company, which was the DeLorean Motor Company.
Yeah.
And other things.
Yeah.
Now, the group hated the name, believe it or not,
Yeah.
at first. They didn't want to use it. They wanted to use names like the Dynamic 2 or the Treacherous 2.
No, that sounds horrible.
It sounds horrible too, but they wanted to have like a tough sounding kind
Yeah.
of name. But eventually they just agreed to it.
But when you look at the name Run DMC, you're like, wow, that's so unique, and it flows through the mouth. Run DMC.
Yeah, it does.
If you say the 2 whatever,
Treacherous 2.
The Treacherous 2 is like, nah, fuck.
Well, the Treacherous 2 sounds like a backup.
Yeah.
You know, Run DMC and the Treacherous 2.
Yeah.
Something like that. But now Joseph, like I said, was officially DJ Run. Okay. Now later, they would say sometimes DMC stood for Devastating Mic Controller.
Yeah.
Okay. But late in '83, they were able to get signed to Profile Records.
Yep.
And they released a single called "It's Like That," and the B-side was "Sucker MCs."
That's a great song.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like this.
It's the
and
first.
that-
It's the first.
That's the way it is.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was great.
And
Yeah,
Sucker
it's-
MCs
was
was
great,
actually
too.
the first like diss song.
Yeah.
Where they started just like
They were
dissing
shitting on people.
they were
Yeah, it
shitting
was
on people.
great.
Right. Now it would make number 15 on the R&B charts. That single didn't kind of make any splash hit in the pop
Yeah.
world, but number 15 in the R&B. Now they performed this single on a show called New York Hot Tracks. Now I remember this show.
remember New York
yeah,
Hot
I remember
Track,
that.
yeah.
It was hosted by WKTU Carlos de Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? And basically, it jump started their career, going on that show, and it got them to be able to make their self-titled first album called Run DMC.
Run DMC.
Okay, and that got released March 27th, 1984. It was produced by Russell Simmons and Larry Smith. And it was considered a much more aggressive kind of rap album than anything that ever been recorded.
But the thing is, it was mixed with a lot of guitar, a lot of things,
Yeah.
a lot of scratching. But it wasn't like your normal rap beats or your normal
No.
hip hop. This was like very hard, like almost
you
like
know,
metal, like metal.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
I mean,
with rap.
if you take two albums, listen to anything by say Grandmaster Flash,
Yeah.
and then throw on this first Run DMC album, and you'll just see a different generation story.
Yeah.
Okay, they were forceful the way they sang the lyrics, rapped the lyrics. You had there was guitars, there was like they were trying to break into the rock world as
Yeah.
well as the rap world.
Yeah.
They wanted the best of both.
They were the best,
You know.
and they actually did do it. You know what's funny? They were one of the first actually real rap video on MTV.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it was something box was the first.
Rockbox. Rockbox was the
one,
first. Yeah, was the first rap video ever
And
played.
they were heavy on MTV. Like they played it so much on MTV. It was like amazing how much they played on MTV. And I remember other videos like It's Tricky.
Yeah, that got
It's
played.
Tricky, like with Penn and Teller and the thing. And
Yep.
while this is happening, they were also you started seeing groups like the Fat Boys. You started seeing
Well, they were on Def Jam, okay,
LL
which was
Cool J.
Russell
Yeah.
Simmons' label.
And you even saw the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, all
Yep.
these groups, and all these groups were pretty
starting
much
out.
because they saw Run DMC and they were like, you know what?
Yep.
We can fucking do this.
We could do
We
it.
could be the next group, and actually a lot of good groups came out of all this thing.
That early generation of rap, I'll always tip my hat to.
Oh, that was
okay.
great.
It's kind of like maybe around the time, like we were saying, like when it became hip hop, that's
Yeah.
when I kind of started to tune out. But
Hip hop
that
was
early.
more when the Black Sheep started coming out, Nice and Smooth and all that other stuff. That's when it
Onyx.
started changing. Onyx.
Yeah.
That's when it started changing for hip hop, especially with like the album The Chronic and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. That was the next generation.
They never called it rap. It started calling it was all hip hop. Hip hop.
Yeah. Now, again, just so you understand, the first album you had It's Like That, Hard Times, Rock Box, and that would make it to number 53.
Yeah.
Okay, on the Billboard Top 200 charts. That album. Now, the fashion sense that they had was like a street look.
Oh, very street look.
And it was different from the rappers that were before.
Yeah.
When you look at like Grandmaster Flash, guys like that, they were wearing like leather, bare-chested
Yeah.
tops, and it was more like a disco
Yeah, it was
kind of
disco,
thing.
but they were-
left over from that.
Yeah.
But this was a tougher street look. The Kangol hats.
Yeah, the Kangol hat,
Right,
the gold chain,
chains.
the black shirts.
Now, you know why they what the no laces thing is, right?
What?
Well, when you're in jail, they don't
Oh,
give you shoelaces so you don't hang yourself.
Yeah, yes, that's
Okay?
right.
So it was referencing that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a line in My Adidas
Yeah.
where he says, "My Adidas only bring good news, and it's not used for felony shoes."
Jews.
Okay, so they were talking about that. Now, it all came from Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
He basically invented that. Now, Russell liked it and insisted, you guys got to all look like that.
Yeah, you like
be a match. Everybody had a match.
You know what's the funny? They're actually the first rap group to get actually an endorsement deal.
Yeah, Adidas eventually
Adidas.
would do that. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that.
What was how much did they give him?
$1.6 million.
In
That will be in a few years.
Think
yeah.
about that in that time. That's
It
like,
was 30 years ago. Yeah,
but think about how much money that is. When you talk about 1 point, that's like almost. That's
Just-
like with
just to
today's
wear-
economy,
just to wear Adidas.
That's almost like $100 million if you think about it.
Today?
Today,
Probably.
that's pretty much what it would
Or
be.
50, yeah.
Because it's just that much money. But
Yeah.
like $1 million back then. How many people got $1 million back then?
Not many.
Not even baseball players were getting paid that much. Other than Reggie Jackson was the only one that was the first.
He was one of the first $1 million
$1
players.
yeah.
Now the King of Rock album, which is like my favorite.
Yeah, that's a great album.
That would come out in 1985, and it saw even more of a fusion of rock and rap than it
Yeah.
did on the first album. You had the title track, King of
Yeah.
Rock. You had Can You Rock It Like This? And one of my favorites that I actually threw it on today for the
Yeah.
first time in a lot of years is You Talk Too Much.
You talk too much.
That's,
And
I
you
always
never
liked
shut
it.
up.
I always liked that one.
That video was great
was
too.
funny with all the girls and everything.
But
yeah.
you want to hear the thing about the first Run DMC album? It actually went gold.
Yes.
So it was a commercial success off the bat.
Well, no, the first
Yeah.
one was. The second one was even bigger.
It was even bigger. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that actually, I think, made a platinum.
Well,
you know?
on that one, they actually got to play Live Aid. That's how
Oh,
big
yeah,
they
that's
were.
right, they did play Live Aid.
And the album would make it to number 52 in Billboard only, but it made number 12 on the R&B
Yep.
chart. So R&B, which was basically anything black at that point, didn't
Yeah.
have to be traditional R&B. It
No.
was, you had rap was thrown in there too.
Yeah.
They didn't have rap categories back then.
No,
and all
they
that.
didn't know what to label.
They didn't know what to make of that.
But these guys, like when you look at them, were they really rap? Yeah,
Yes.
yes, they rhyme, but they were very like hardcore rock and roll in a way. They weren't like
They
normal.
the early stuff that they did, like I said, they were mixing both. They would have, guitar licks, rapping over it. I mean, the Beastie Boys were kind of doing that in
Yeah,
some
the Beastie
ways
Boys
too.
did that too. The
You know,
Beastie Boys was the white Run DMC pretty much.
They were friends.
They were friends.
I
told you I saw them in one of those tours in Madison Square Garden.
I want to get to that, okay? Because we're going to talk about that tour coming
Yeah.
up. In the summer of '85, they did Live Aid.
Yeah.
Were they the only rap band to play? I
think
so.
I can't think of
I
anybody
can't think of anybody
else
else at
about
that
it.
point. Now, the group was also featured in the film Crush Groove in
Crush Groove,
1985.
that was a funny
And
movie.
yeah, it was. And it was basically the plot was a fictionalized story about Russell Simmons' rise
How he
through
became-
rap
yeah.
and how he got his record company and all that.
Did you ever see the one where the fat boys go
Yeah.
to Saparo?
Yep. Oh, that's just hilarious. That's hilarious.
Saparo's a
They're
restaurant.
just Sbarro's. I don't eat pizza, like tons of pizza.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
If you ever went to Saparo, 34th
Oh, yeah.
Street, the breakfast was all you can
Can
eat.
eat,
You would pay
yeah.
like like something like $8, and it was a massacre.
Sbarro was nasty pizza. It was horrible.
No, but this was the breakfast. That wasn't even a pizza. It was so funny.
You'd eat Sbarros if you wanted to clean yourself out.
Oh,
It was horrible, man. I can't eat that, man.
Oh my God, that
now,
scene.
in Crush Groove, okay, you had Curtis Blow, the Fat Boys were in it, all right. LL Cool J, New Edition, the Beastie Boys, and Sheila E.
Sheila E, yeah.
Was in it too. The Prince protege.
Well, yep. I remember that movie.
That was a big movie.
Well.
It made a lot of money, that movie, and it was kind of the first, rap movie. And it showed the industry that they can make money off it.
Yeah, because then they came out with those
Beat Streets
and Breaking and Breaking 2. They were shit.
They were shit. The only thing that was cool is that some of them was shot around here, so you're kind of like, oh yeah, I know that spot or whatever.
That's the only thing that was good about it.
Yeah. Now, they were riding high in '85, but in '86, they collaborated with producer Rick Rubin. All right. And this would be for the third album, the Monster album, Raising Hell.
Raising Hell was a fantastic
album. And this album would go double platinum, and it would make it to number 3 in the charts.
Yeah.
So it was a big hit. Yeah. Now, that whole album sold basically based on Walk This Way.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what was Walk This Way? Walk This Way was an Aerosmith song, and from early 70s, I think 73 or 74. And they were originally going to just kind of rap over samples of the song.
Yeah.
But Rick Rubin said, no, let's get the actual band in here.
That was
Aerosmith. And we'll recut it. We'll give guitar solos, have them in it, the backing vocals and everything, and we'll do it over the real music.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like innovative to do something like that. And Aerosmith was a good pick because at that point they weren't doing shit.
No.
They were like gone. They were dealing with drug habits and they weren't selling any records. So it was kind of like a way to rejuvenate them, and they jumped on it right away.
Yeah.
Now
and actually this version went higher than the original one.
I think it did.
It did.
I think it did a little bit. Now Rubin insisted on bringing in Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. So they would do this full cover version, and it would be one of the biggest hits of the 1980s.
Yeah.
It would get to number 4, in the Hot 100 charts. And also the other big song on that album was My Adidas.
Yeah, My Adidas. That was a good song too.
And that, based on that song, got them the endorsement you just mentioned.
Yep.
$1.6 million.
You want to hear something funny? They were also one of the first rap group nominated for a Grammy also.
Yes.
You know that? Not too many people, and I guess they put them in the R&B category, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't have a hip-hop category or anything then. They put them in the R&B. I think they realized that they'd have to come up with a category soon,
And here's another interesting, in the Rolling Stone top 100 are the greatest artists of all time, guess where Run DMC is? Just estimate a guess.
50-something?
48.
48.
They called them one of the greatest acts of all time. And to be 48, they were pioneers.
That's I was just going to say that word. They are pioneers in that genre. They had something to say.
Yeah.
They said it well.
Yeah.
Their messages were good. They were mostly, anti-violence.
They weren't talking about bitches and this and that. They were talking about hanging out and
it was hanging out, getting wasted, or talking about their clothes and experiences. A little bit of street hustling, but it wasn't.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, they were just, the early days of hip hop. It was just fun to listen to some of it. Okay, it became different later on, and East versus West and all that nonsense.
But it became more like gangster rap.
Exactly,
that's what it was.
Exactly, and Run DMC really weren't about that.
No.
But
even MC Hammer was a little bit like that to the point that when he did take out the gangster rap out, it was so cool.
Because he was like too straight to do something like that. Too legit to quit. Remember that? I was just gonna say that. too legit.
Can't stop this.
With those pants and everything.
Fucking GD pants, motherfucker.
Yeah. Anyway, what would happen during the Raising Hell tour in '86 is there would be a lot of riots. What would happen is some places on the West Coast there were a lot of gangs, and they would go to the shows and fight with each other at the shows.
Yeah, it was crazy.
really like a shit show. They couldn't control it.
No.
And the media was starting to blame Run DMC for it, and it really
No, it
wasn't their fault.
It was the fans. It was
Yeah,
whoever
and it
was
wasn't
going
like
to
the
show.
lyrics were driving this because, like
No.
I said, the lyrics were mostly positive. 1987, they would still be riding high on that album,
Yeah.
and they would start another tour called the Together Forever Tour with
Yeah.
the Beastie Boys.
Yep.
Now,
I actually saw that, man. The Garden.
now, did you?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about it?
It was.
I've
like-
never seen that.
It was like one of the loudest shows I ever seen in my life.
Really?
Like they were loud. It was just like, you know, like you would see Jay come out there and then he's scratching, the scratches out, and then you hear these voices in the background.
Beastie Boys open.
And yeah, and
Right.
it was insane. The Beastie Boys were fucking great. They tore
Yeah.
the house. People were like fucking. They lost their mind, and then Run DMC came, and it was like the perfect combination. These two bands, and they were perfect for each other.
They were.
They fit off. Like the Beastie Boys did about 45 minutes, then Run DMC did like 2.5 hours.
Wow.
They did 2 hours,
How old
and
were
they
you?
played it. I must have been like, I think 16, 17, whatever. I was
Wow.
young.
Yeah.
I was young because I think I was doing freaking even. I might have even been younger. I was doing. I think it was, yeah, I must have been like either high school or high school. It must have been high school.
Well, let's see. It was 87.
Yeah,
What year were you born?
I was born in '72.
You were 15.
15. Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, 16. That's right. I was young, and my dad gave me something. It was so. It was like I think my dad gave me like something like $20, and I got a ticket for $12.
So you kept the money.
And I was sitting like in the middle.
It wasn't sold out?
I don't know how I got the ticket. I just got tickets. Like
Day of the show?
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, you could.
It was
Yeah, you could.
weird.
You
Back
could.
then, it wasn't like it is now. Like
Nah.
you would go up to the window, the guy would be like, "Give me $12." He'll give you like
One ticket lying
it
around.
It might have even been whatever.
So you went by yourself?
Yeah, I went by myself.
Wow.
I used to go. I saw AC/DC like that too by myself. I bought a bootleg show outside for like $3, $5.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen AC/DC a few times at the Garden.
Yeah, they were great in the Garden.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But this show was. But when I went to that show, it wasn't even violent.
You know, we got
It
a
was
show
good
coming
time.
up on it. So.
Oh yeah,
AC/DC,
definitely.
yeah.
I think we should. I think talking right now, I think we might have to do like a show at NWA also because they had an interesting history too.
Yeah, we could get into that a little
I
bit.
think we could do
in
that.
a month or two.
Because
something like that.
pretty much the fucking what was the Guns N' Roses pretty much named the song "Appetite Destruction" after one of the NWA songs.
Yeah, I remember that.
You
Yeah,
know?
they were listening to them.
They were
Yeah,
listening to
yeah.
them. So where we at right
Now, after the tour in '87 with the Beastie Boys, they would look to go for a little change of direction.
Yeah,
And they would start recording an album that became the Tougher Than Leather album.
yeah,
They kind of dropped the rock and rap combination
Yeah.
that they were doing. And they got more into like sampling beats,
Yeah.
heavy beats and stuff like that.
there was also a movie name. It was like a satire movie.
Yes, there was a movie. There was a movie that came out. Yeah,
It was like a.
the,
It was like
the songs you have on that album is Run's House.
Runs Out. That was
Beat. What is it? What's it? Oh, Mary, Mary.
Mary,
Why you bugging?
Yeah,
Right?
that was another great song.
Yeah. Now, it was considered a little bit disappointing, this album, because I think people were expecting more of the same.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't sell as well as Raising Hell, but it's become a classic.
It is a classic.
Okay,
I think
actually,
later on it picked
It
up.
did. It
later
did
on.
pick up later on. Now, late in '88, they would make their second film named after this album
Yeah.
called Tougher Than Leather. And like you said, it was kind of a spoof. It was like
Yeah.
a caper movie, like a
I don't
mystery.
even- yeah, I don't
I
think-
think I saw it once, and
Yeah.
it was like
It wasn't that good.
Yeah, it was like no. Beastie Boys are in it though.
Yeah, they had a
and,
bunch
and,
of people in
and
it.
Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Slick Rick.
Which is like, it was a very. They were trying to do like an Abbott and Costello kind of
Yeah.
thing. It was horrible.
Yeah,
It
like
was
like two
horrible.
knuckleheads,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. 1990, they would release another album called Back from Hell.
Yeah.
It was their worst album, worst reviewed album. It totally bombed. I don't think anybody knew it was even
I
coming
don't
out.
think that album. I don't even remember that.
The
album,
industry,
to
the
tell you the
industry
truth.
was changing
Yeah.
in '90. Okay, what was big in '90? Grunge was coming.
Yeah.
Okay, rap had become hip hop.
Yeah.
Then there was like this other thing of like that New Jack Swing
Yeah.
type music in the early '90s. And grunge was really becoming. Pop music was becoming heavier.
Yeah.
With Nirvana by '91.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
You know what's amazing about these guys? They had 7 studio albums. You would think when they first started, they would like take an album every year in the first
They
3
did.
years.
They did. Well, they did
Yeah,
kind of. They did kind of, and then it spread out a little bit.
Spread out, but like
But their
first
actual
studio
career
albums-
is not all that long.
No, it's not that long. But
You
you
know,
look at it, you're thinking
Yeah.
like, oh,
I
man,
mean, there's a
this is-
comeback period, but
Yeah.
kind of. But now, like I mentioned, that New Jack Swing sound,
Started
which
taking
I didn't
over.
really pay any attention to, but it was kind of like a mix of like R&B and rap and
Yeah.
pop. I think it was almost like, was Janet Jackson considered that kind of like?
Maybe. Then
like-
you had like a lot of groups like Jodeci. You had a bunch of groups came out. Like
Yeah.
a bunch of like.
Yeah.
You even had like Velvet DeVoe, all that kind. All
Velvet
that shit,
DeVoe,
all
right.
that stuff, kind. And it was like R&B. And like Janet Jackson was never really R&B. She was considered more like popular music, just
Right.
because that's Janet Jackson,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's sister, which was
Gotcha.
very weird. That's the way they did it. But
Yeah.
it was a very weird time, and Yo MTV rap started taking off also. Which is funny that they never called it Yo Hip Hop.
I know.
It was
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Yo MTV Rap.
Yeah. The singles off this album would be Pause and The Avenue, both bombed.
Yeah, well,
They
terrible,
didn't chart.
terrible album.
Now, DMC was developing a bit of a drinking problem,
Oh, yeah,
serious
he was a
drinking
bad
problem.
alcoholic.
Yeah.
He even started losing his voice a little bit.
Well, he did lose his voice.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jam Master Jay got into a bad car accident.
Yeah.
He survived it, obviously, but he also got shot in 1990 as well. There were 2 gunshot
I
wounds.
wonder what the hell he was doing to
He
this
was
guy.
he was up to
doing
he was
something.
up to something. Okay, now in '91, Run would also be accused of raping a college
Yeah.
student in Ohio. The charges would be dropped
Yeah.
eventually, but it was a bad year, 90 and 91.
Yeah.
It was a bad year for the band. In between 91 and 1993, things would change again, and Run and DMC would turn to religion.
Yeah.
Okay, and start getting involved in various churches and
To the point that it became Reverend Ron.
Reverend Run.
Yeah.
Reverend Run.
He had a show. You ever seen this at Ron's house?
Yes.
He had a show. Yeah, it was a little funny.
Yeah. In '93, they would release "Down with the King."
Down
that
with the
album.
King. I
It was a
remember
bit
that.
of a comeback
Yeah.
kind of album. They brought back a sound of Tougher Than Leather.
Yeah.
For that, they disregarded what they were doing with Back from Hell. Now it actually did very well. It entered the charts at
Yeah.
number 1.
Yep.
Number 1.
I think people were like waiting for them to come back and they want to see what they did.
It was
and
probably a
that's
little
why.
blowback by '93.
Yeah.
People were kind of like fed up with
Yeah.
grunge and
Yeah, all the shit.
because there was a lot of shit.
It
in
was
that.
the most different album they also took. It was
Yeah.
different for everything else, but they actually went almost back to their roots in that album. They brought that
Yeah,
little,
that tough. Well, they
Yeah.
didn't go, they didn't do a rap rock thing,
No,
but they were more
were-
like Tougher Than
yeah.
Leather with a lot of heavy beats.
beats, yeah.
Yeah. Now the album actually went platinum.
Yep.
But sadly, it would be like their last big hit.
Yeah, that's it. No
Yeah.
more after that.
Jam Master Jace was getting interested in his own label that he started called JMJ Records.
Yeah, he was
And
signing acts.
He was signing Onyx was the big one, I think, that he signed. Yep.
Let the
And
boys be boys.
he was there was a hit that they had called Slam.
Yeah, Slam.
Yeah, Slam, yeah.
Let the boys be boys.
Right.
That was actually a pretty interesting song. I could get into that, but I didn't like most of the other stuff they had.
No.
I think that was the only song that really...
I think it was. I think people liked him, but
Yeah.
that was the only one that made a mark.
Yeah, because one of the guys like a movie actor. He's like in a bunch of movies. One of the guys that was in Onyx. He's
Is
like
he?
an actor. Yeah,
Yeah,
was
if I
in,
see him, I know him. I
You'll
don't
know who he is.
Yeah.
He was like in Spider-Man Homecoming. He's in a bunch of those kind of movies. He always played like the token black guy. That's the bad guy.
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty much what he does.
Okay. Now, 1993, getting back to Run, he would become an ordained minister.
Yep.
The band didn't break up, but they were kind of like on a hiatus, a little bit of a slowdown. They would occasionally, over the next few years, make sporadic concert appearances. Jam Master Jay would produce Onyx and also 50 Cent.
Yep.
Okay, when he got started.
Yep.
Now, Run, okay, got divorced and then remarried, and was basically focusing on his ministry.
Yep.
All right. DMC collaborated with the Notorious B.I.G. on his 1997 album called Life After Death. He's
Yep.
on that album. And Run would change his name to Reverend Run.
Reverend Run.
Right.
Yep.
But DMC's problems with alcohol would resurface.
Yeah.
They would it would kind of like blow up into a prescription drug problem as well.
Yeah, he got really
okay,
bad
he was getting really bad. Now by 1997, they had done a tour in Europe, and it was out of hand. He was fucked up. He was lumped up.
He was definitely lumped up.
Yeah.
Like he was taking pills. He was doing like fucking. He was taking pills and like doing like heavy alcohol, man.
A lot of drinking.
It's like holy shit. This guy was fucked up to the point that I think
Did he lose a lot of weight?
he lost weight,
Yeah.
and I think he got to one point, one concert, he couldn't even finish it because he was so fucked up.
Right, now his vocals were getting bad
Yeah,
as
the
well.
vocal was getting fucked up, but
Yeah.
he was getting that graspy, like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah. Now, they were in Europe in 1997 because there were remixes of It's Tricky and
Yeah.
It's Like That were actually big hits
Yeah.
in Europe, so they went over there to tour.
Yeah.
Now, by 1999, they would also, and I'm sure you know this, record the theme song for the WWF Wrestling
Oh,
stable,
yeah. Degeneration,
Yeah, Degeneration. And the song was called The Kings.
The Kings, yeah.
Yeah, was that any good? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was a song that Triple H and like the Degeneration came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was one of the, it was like in one
Was
of
it
the
as good as The
Aggression
Game?
album. Nah, the game was probably the best song, but the original Degeneration X was a great song. But the game by Motorhead was pretty good.
Yeah.
But WWF always got great artists to do their songs.
They do.
You know,
They do.
the
They
theme
do.
song.
Now, if you remember, in the late 90s, you had a lot of like rock, rap bands.
Yeah.
Okay, that were definitely influenced by Run DMC.
Oh, yeah.
Bands like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Like
Anthrax.
Korn. Okay.
Right? Anthrax was probably in
Who?
Anthrax.
Well, Anthrax were thrash, but they had that. They did that one collaboration with
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy.
I thought that was great.
That was good. That was
Bring
good.
the noise.
Bring the noise. Yeah. Yep.
That was good.
Yep. And that was that was Anthrax actually
Yeah.
organizing that whole thing.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was. Now, Run at that point, because of all this like rock, rap kind of stuff going on, he wanted to go back in the studio and kind of do that stuff
Yeah.
again. Okay, but DMC
Nah, he
was not into it. In
Yeah.
fact, his songwriting was starting to be influenced by like John Lennon.
Yeah.
Okay, surprisingly, and Harry Chapin and Sarah
Yeah.
McLachlan.
Yeah, it was like, what the-
he was writing like these kind of like personal, introspective kind of lyrics that
He
Run
became
was
a
like,
pussy.
yeah, he did. I'm being nice, but yeah. got his shit on it, man. Got his shit. Yeah. When you start talking about Sarah McLachlan, you definitely
You're
have
done.
a vagina.
You're done.
Okay,
You're done.
you're definitely growing a
You're
vagina
done.
when that happens. Now, they were battling heads at this point
Yeah.
as to the direction of the band they were recording, but DMC would sit out a lot of it
Yeah.
because he didn't like the direction.
No.
And
He was pretty
Run
much
was
done.
like, fuck it, we're putting an album out anyway.
Yeah.
So he started having guest appearances by all kinds of people. Everybody from like Third Eye Blind to Method Man.
Yeah, that album made no
Nas. Yeah.
It was
right.
like-
it was all over the place. Yeah.
It was
That's
shit.
the one. That's the album called Crown Royal.
Yeah, it was shit.
Yeah.
It was
and
shit.
it was released in 2000.
It was absolute garbage.
And now DMC was only on 3 tracks.
Yeah.
And that was the big criticism of the album.
Yeah.
People were saying, well, he's not even involved with it.
They were pretty much almost like breaking up at this point.
Things were not good.
Yeah,
Things were not good. But there would be one shining light in the end there because Aerosmith took them on tour.
Yeah.
And that would be a very successful tour.
Yeah.
That basically it kind of took everybody back, 15 years or so to when they were big.
But
when they
that
walked this way.
was a tour like, oh man, I remember these guys. Let's go see. It's like right now there's a tour with like Poison, Johnny,
Yeah, Def Leppard,
and Motley
and all
Crue.
that,
And
yeah.
I said, all the fucking dinosaurs are going to go. It's great. They're not going to sound like absolute shit.
Yeah,
They're
but
gonna
they'll
come
make
out
a
there,
lot of money.
But they're going to make a lot of money because people just, I remember, man. No,
Yeah.
these groups suck.
Yeah, no, they suck now. Or they might have one original member or something like that,
You're going to see Vince Neil that looks like 450
Vince
pounds.
Neil is just like, he just looks like a fat old grandma.
And it's sad that some girl's going to blow him.
Oh, probably.
They're going to be like, wow, we love
She'll be
this guy.
fat. She'll be a grandma too.
Nah, the
No,
people
there'll be a
that-
young
there'll
one.
be some
There'll be a
girl
young
that's
one.
just
There'll be
scratching
just to say she
the hard
did it.
drive.
Just to say she did it. Yep, scratching the hard drive. Okay, that tour, however, was very successful.
Yeah.
They were going to add some more dates. DMC was actually controlling his drinking, okay, and he felt revitalized. His vocals were not that good, but he was happy to be out on tour.
Yeah.
But Joe, okay, Run Simmons was totally disillusioned, was not into it anymore.
Yeah,
he was done with hip hop, okay, and he wanted to basically hang it up.
Yep.
He would announce in the middle of that tour, right when they were about to add more dates, I'm done.
You're done, yeah.
So he jumped off the tour. He's retired. And that was the end of Run DMC. I mean, sadly, to put the final nail in the coffin, to me, I mean, we could talk about the Grammys the other night, but October 30th, 2002, Jay Mizzle, also known as Jam Master Jay, was shot and killed.
In the head.
At a recording studio in Queens. And that murder has never been solved, which is a fucking shame.
Just like Tupac and Biggie Smalls.
Yeah. So you lost 1/3 of the band. Right there.
Yeah.
And they would occasionally show up in other things. They got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They actually played the Grammys the other night.
That's what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you some of the acolytes that they did. So in 2007, they were named the greatest hip hop group of all time by MTV.
What year was that?
2007.
It was still MTV in 2007?
Yeah, there was still MTV. and the greatest hip hop artist of all time by VH1, and that was the Hip Hop Honors.
Yeah.
In 2009, Run DMC became the second hip hop group to be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You know who the first was, right?
I think it was Sugar Hill Gang, right?
No, Grandmaster Flash.
Was it the Grandmaster Flash? For some reason, I thought it was.
I don't think Sugar Hill Gang is it.
In 2016, the group received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
But
I bet they showed that on the fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't show Iggy the other night. Fuck you, Grammys.
Yeah, that's crazy. And in 2018, Racing Hill was inducted into the National Record Registration by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, Racing Hill was inducted to the National Recording Registration by the Library of Congress because it was culturally historic, and it was actually a significant, very different album that changed the way people think.
Yeah, I would I would say that. I would say that. Well,
what else?
I just I wanted to shit on the Grammys. All right. I actually sat. Some of you on my Facebook, you probably heard this story already, but if you don't know, Iggy Pop, one of my favorite people of all time, was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I didn't know when they were going to show it. You don't know when it's going to come on. So I sat and watched the Grammys for the first time in like 20 years. I'm not a big award show fan.
I didn't see that shit. I was watching the Royal Rumble, which was much more entertaining.
I should have watched that, okay? But I was, look, I want to see Iggy. It was nice to see him get, an award and get recognized. Even though all these years nobody recognized him, but still, it would be nice to just see him.
Yeah.
Okay? So I waited, and I sat through, I don't know.
Brutal show.
Brutal. I mean, I don't know any of these bands. They're not even worth knowing. Like people are telling me, oh, check out this Billie Eilish. She's interesting. Okay. So she won all these awards, 5 awards.
Yeah, she did history that day.
I was watching some of it, and I would have my phone out, and I YouTubed a video, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, this is crap. This is just crap.
She's more for the younger generation. Like she got,
but they're all acting like she's serious.
I
man.
heard one or two songs. She got some good songs. It's like every artist. She got some bad songs.
I don't hear it. I mean, I listen to like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
Her big song is like Bad Guy.
Bad Guy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's like 2 other videos. I forget the names of the song.
I think that's the only pretty good song that I've heard.
But she just whispers through the whole song.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like
that's her thing. That's her thing.
I don't get it. I don't know. And I listen to weird shit too, so it's not that I don't like weird stuff. I just don't like stupid stuff.
It's the new generation. It's
I don't know. I mean, I never saw something so talentless. Really.
She's not talented.
No, I'm not just bashing her. I'm talking about
But the Grammy was shit.
Grammys in general. A couple of highlights I thought were okay was when Usher came out and did a Prince tribute. I thought that wasn't too bad. He did Little Red Corvette. Okay. Yeah. The rest of it, The
Grammys was shit
but you know what? I'm not even going to bash people on the Grammys, except the one I'm going to bash the most is Aerosmith.
Yeah.
They had no right being on that fucking stage. They suck. and I haven't seen them like live in years on anything really, and they really suck. And they're in Vegas. They got like a residency in Vegas. Who the fuck would go to Vegas to see them?
The same people are gonna see Poison, Journey, and the other thing, because people want to relive their youth. Oh my God, Journey!
I relive my. You know
Not
what?
Journey. I mean,
I relive my youth because I never grow up.
Def Leppard.
I never grow up. Def Leppard.
Molly Crew, you're gonna see this shit show,
I know. Look,
and these people are gonna play. They're gonna get the T-shirt.
Look, I saw Kiss last year. I was reliving my youth a little
Kiss
bit.
is a lot
But Kiss is
better
like
than-
still like relevant as a band, you know.
Rolling Stone are still relevant.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know, that's a show, but all these people are gonna go see these shows.
But they didn't even bring up the drummer from Aerosmith on stage. They didn't use him, and they did Walk This Way, and I was like, all right, you're really gonna bring this back? And then Run DMC comes out, and it's only 2/3 of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to really see
They
that.
even talking to Run DMC. Even talk about getting back together.
Who are they going to have? Who's going to be the
Yeah.
DJ? I don't know.
I don't know, but that's weird for me to hear that they talk about getting back together.
It wouldn't be the same without Jay.
No, it's not the same without Jay. Jay was actually, I think Jay was like the glue that held the whole group together. He was like really like.
I mean, their whole look was based on him.
Yeah.
The whole look.
Because he had that look, but the one thing they do, they definitely outlived him.
Yes, they did. I'll give them that.
Because I don't know what Jay was doing that motherfucker was getting shot.
Jay was up to no good.
He was up to no good. So, Mike, how do we get in touch with you?
Rocker Mike 212 on Instagram and Rocker Mike 3 on Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook under Michael Baker. Before we go, I want to bring up the new app that we're sponsoring here called VidGo.
VidGo, yeah.
VIDGO, VidGo. Check it out. We had a show yesterday on the Rocker Mike and Rob Presents.
Yep.
With Adam from VidGo, and he went over how this whole thing works. I'll tell you quickly. Check it out. It's on your Android and your iPhone's Play Store. Get the app VidGo. Basically, it's your streaming television. There's a lot of channels you can pick from, and you can chat underneath it, create like a hangout or a watch party, whatever you want to call it. You could watch, for instance, the Super Bowl this weekend, and you can have a watch party going with people, anybody that has the app.
Yeah.
You can comment underneath it, talk about how this game sucks, and you change the channel,
Yep.
whatever. Okay. I think it's a great idea. You could put up a meme, you could put up a GIF, you could have a chat with people, your friends from other states, all watching the same show.
And you never know, other people from all over the country might also start. Once it gets big enough, you can chat with people from all over the country.
And there's different
questions about that.
Right. And there's he was talking about on certain shows having actors do Q&A.
Yep.
Stuff like that. There's a lot of possibilities with this. This app just came out, literally.
Yeah.
And we're definitely pushing it. I think you guys should check it out. VidGo.
VidGo, yeah. And you can download it so far right now on Google Play and on iTunes. You know,
right.
And it's going to get big. It's going to be on Roku. It's going to be on some
Roku
of the
is
other,
picking it up. Yep.
Some of the other streaming service and stuff like that.
Where can we find you, Rob?
And me, you can find me anywhere. Getting Lumped Up. It's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and YouTube. So guys, come follow us. Give us a like, subscribe to the show, and give us a good ratings. We actually pick a little bit of momentum. We get a lot more viewers and listeners every day. We're putting shows.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, we're actually putting shows almost every day. You're gonna find a new show, so you won't get bored. And right now we got enough shows going all the way into the end of February.
Into March.
Yeah, and actually March, because we'll have the conspiracy. We have a bunch of Rocker Mike and Rob Presents. There's going to be a bunch of them coming out.
A lot of rock shows are
A
coming.
lot of rock shows so people enjoy. And remember, don't get drunk, get lumped up.
And stay lumped up.